All right, so you end up doing the interview on Real Life, and let me first say, Pun is Puerto Rican, not Mexican. Okay,
Right.
that was crazy. And
Yeah, that went over my head. I heard that a lot of people were upset about that.
and Cuban Link is not a nobody. Okay, they tried to push that to be like, yo,
Nah, not at all, not at all, not at all. I mean, he loves the Pun estate. He loves, you could tell he loved Pun. He's real passionate about his past situations. I mean, he's been through squabbles and the whole nine over it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess some of that stuff is hard to let go.
right. And so you do the interview with Real Life and it just blows up, even though it's not new information. You've been saying it since your interview with Doggy Diamonds, pretty much, right? Which shout out to Doggy Diamonds because
Shout out to the guy.
he's been doing TS content for the longest time, like way back in the day when Liza was, still in that bad situation, man. So shout out to him. But you do the interview with Real Life, it blows up, and on a post, somebody put together a reel and Joe comments on it saying it's a lie. He doesn't know who you are. He wishes people, didn't get their facts from a nobody or something like that along those lines, right? What is your reaction when you see that comment?
I started laughing. I mean, honestly, over that Joe thing, my client base probably went up triple.
Wow.
Within the last 3 weeks. No jokes. I probably get 30 to 40 DMs a day.
Does it trip you out that to this day, this is so old, right? You guys settled it in 2016, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking 9 years ago and people still don't know that this is what happened.
People know what happened. They just don't want to admit, that their superhero got flaws, chinks in the armor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just think that, if Joe would have just admitted it years ago and be like, I hated that bitch, this and that, blah, 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 we would have all been past it.
You really think that they would have let that up though, knowing that like this is your brother, that he died, he left his family, and
I mean, the way he talks, he could have justified it somehow, probably. You know what I'm saying? I think he was probably better. I don't know. I don't know if he was better off doing that. You're right, but I don't know how long you could keep on going lying. No one believes him. I mean, I got some of his own friends calling me up, telling me like, "Oh, that's Joe though." You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So
that's Joe though. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a situation where it's kind of like, we know he's a piece of shit, but we got to fuck with him anyways because of the industry and the politics, basically?
I mean, it kind of makes me embarrassed to even be an associate to the industry, to how goofy the game can go with insecurity and just relationships. You know what I'm saying? And people want a union and stuff like that. There'll never be a union if you can't address your fellow man with their mistakes and flaws. There'll never be a union that works if you can't point out the flaws of your fellow man when they do little things like this, because I know a lot of situations like this, you know what I'm saying? Then there'll never be a union that's successful. You know what I'm saying? Then you're wasting your time. If you can't point it out and address somebody over their lies and issues and stuff like that, there'll just never be a union that you'd want to be with. You know what I'm saying? It would just be a gang of goofy niggas. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, you got to be able to address this shit. You know what I'm saying? Not even saying this thing in particular. I'm just saying you gotta argue behind closed doors, whether you're fighting, doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta. It's got to be tough love sometimes, to move forward, to make shit better. You know what I'm saying? Or else it's just gonna perpetuate everything that's going on, stealing from each other, lies, insecurities, just all sorts of shit. You know what I'm saying? All that shit's just gonna perpetuate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This has been going on. Obviously, no one's trying to fix it. You know what I'm saying? This type of shit's been going on for decades and decades and decades. You know what I'm saying? I think whoever is the beholder or the high controllers of the music industry, they like it just the way it is.
When you say that people already knew about this, you're talking about people in the industry? Because it seems like a lot of people from the public standpoint didn't realize that this had happened. Because when you look at these comments, people are like, tell me it isn't true, Joe. I can't believe this. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I don't think anybody believed her when he was going on radio and saying that he gave her $1 million and stuff like that. I mean, we had to sway, we had to sway the people, with facts. You know what I'm saying? But I think after 9 years or so, I think enough people know. You know what I'm saying? They just, like I said, there's a lot of emotion involved. You know what I'm saying, with friends and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just not to be addressed. Maybe they're addressing them behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Rock Nation is saying, something reprimanding him behind closed doors. I have no idea. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they do manage the guy, so I mean, like they should have a little talk with him about, being accurate. You know what I'm saying? Or don't even address it at all. You know what I'm saying?
Because I feel like all the major hip hop outlets wrote about it in 2016 when you guys won. You know what I'm saying? So then it's kind of crazy to me to think that like people don't know about this still.
Um, like I said, man, I think some people are just playing dumb. I think, I think a lot of people know, especially now. You know what I'm saying? It's just how you handle it. You know what I'm saying? Some people like being lied to.
Right.
I know plenty of people like that.
I think the problem kind of goes
I'm
in
just
with
not one
like,
of them. I'm just not one of them. If you're just, 10, 20 years ago, I would entertain the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But if you like being lied to and just like to be in a circle of motherfuckers just lying to each other, making up your own fantasies and shit like that, it's not efficient. It's just not efficient to me. You know what I'm saying? I got to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
right.
You know? So,
One
I
thing
mean,
I noticed is kind of like when people idolize somebody, like a celebrity, because they feel that they're good at doing something, they're talented. It's almost like they view them in a way where you're incapable of making mistakes, incapable of doing fucked up shit to people. And it's just not true because at the end of the day, we're all human, right? We're all capable of doing something bad.
sure. I've done plenty of bad things back in the day, probably 20 years or more. But, everybody, ain't proud of everything that they did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, but I mean, damn, you got to grow up at one point.
Yeah, because it's wild to me how people still defend him all the time, like in the comments, and like the evidence is there. Like you can't dispute the court transcripts. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so crazy to me that people like will overlook whatever evidence is put out there, and they'll be like, somehow they'll twist it and be like, oh, that person's lying. You know?
Sometimes I think it's him or one of his people in the comments doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Or bots, maybe.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but like I said, it's not as consistent as it used to be.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what
Especially
I'm
after
saying?
this FBA thing too.
It's not as consistent
Yeah.
as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Even like before court, you know what I'm saying? During court, maybe a little after court, people didn't know. But, you know, if you get 100 people in the comments saying something, now it's only like 6, 7 people saying
Yeah.
something. So, it's a very low percentage, just under 10% or something. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the majority knows.